First contact and mockery. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Captain Maya Rivera as she guided Earth's most advanced ship, the Celestial Voyager, toward the coordinates where the alien signal originated. After decades of searching and hoping, humanity had finally received confirmation they weren't alone in the universe. The signal had appeared suddenly, complex mathematical patterns that could only be artificial, emanating from a star system just 12 light-years from Earth. Maya's dark eyes reflected the starlight from the viewscreen as she turned to her second-in-command, Commander Eli Chen. "Status report," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. As humanity's representative for this momentous occasion, she felt the responsibility of 4 billion years of evolution resting upon her. "All systems nominal," Captain Eli replied. "We're approaching the designated coordinates. The signal source should be visible any moment now." Dr. Nadia Okafor, the ship's xenolinguist, worked furiously at her station, analyzing the latest transmissions. "The signal pattern has changed. I think they know we're here." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization wasn't going to be finding remnants or artifacts. It would be a face-to-face meeting with living beings. "Something's appearing on our sensors," announced Lieutenant Tomes Garcia from the science station. "It's massive." The view screen shifted to show what at first appeared to be a small moon, but as the Celestial Voyager approached, the true nature of the object became clear. It was a ship, if such a conventional term could apply to the gleaming construct that seemed to defy Euclidean geometry. Its surface rippled with colors that human eyes struggled to process, seemingly existing in multiple states simultaneously. "By all that's holy," whispered Dr. James Wilson, the ship's physicist. "That vessel must be manipulating quantum fields just to maintain structural integrity." Before Maya could respond, the communication system chimed with an incoming transmission. Nadia looked up, her eyes wide. "Captain, they're transmitting in perfect English." Maya straightened her uniform and nodded. "Put them through." The view screen flickered, and an alien figure appeared. Humanoid in basic shape, but the similarities ended there. Its skin shimmered like oil on water, and what might have been eyes were swirling vortices of light. When it spoke, its voice was melodious yet somehow discordant. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Valesians. We have been observing your world for some time." Maya stepped forward. "I am Captain Maya Rivera of the Earth-shipped Celestial Voyager. We come in peace and friendship, seeking to exchange knowledge and establish diplomatic relations." A sound emerged from the alien that might have been laughter, though it sent chills down the spines of everyone on the bridge. "Exchange knowledge," the Valesian said, amusement evident in its tone. "What knowledge could you possibly offer us? Your species has barely mastered rudimentary space travel. We crossed the void between galaxies when your ancestors were still hunting with sticks." Maya kept her expression neutral despite the dismissive tone. "Every civilization has unique perspectives to offer. We may be younger than your species, but humanity has made remarkable progress in our short history." "Remarkable by your standards, perhaps," replied the Valesian. "Tell me, how long did it take your kind to achieve faster-than-light travel?" "We developed the gravitational wave propulsion system 15 years ago," Maya answered, a hint of pride in her voice. The technology that powered the Celestial Voyager represented humanity's greatest achievement. The alien made that unsettling laughing sound again. 15 years. "We mastered dimensional folding eons ago. Your ship's propulsion system is like a child's toy compared to our technology." For the next hour, the conversation continued in this vein. The Valesians asked questions about human achievements in science, art, and philosophy, only to dismiss each response with thinly veiled contempt. With each dismissal, Maya felt her crew's morale sinking, but she also noticed something else, a quiet determination hardening in their eyes. Throughout the exchange, Maya observed that Lieutenant Garcia was discreetly running scans of the Valesian vessel, while Dr. Wilson was analyzing the quantum fluctuations surrounding it. Even as they endured the mockery, her crew was gathering valuable intelligence. "We will permit your species limited access to some of our lesser outposts," the Valesian announced eventually. "Perhaps in a few millennia, you might evolve enough to be of some interest to us." Maya bowed slightly, maintaining her diplomatic composure. "We appreciate your generosity and look forward to learning from your civilization." As the communication ended and the Valesian ship shimmered before disappearing in a burst of light that defied physics as humans understood it, a heavy silence fell over the celestial Voyager's bridge. "Well," Maya said finally, turning to face her crew, "that wasn't quite the first contact scenario we trained for." Dr. Okafor shook her head, anger evident in her expression. "They treated us like children. Worse, like pets." "But we're not children," Maya replied, her voice hardening with resolve. "And we're certainly not pets. Lieutenant Garcia, Dr. Wilson, what were you able to learn while our new friends were busy condescending to us?" Toms's eyes lit up. "Their ship, Captain, it wasn't just using advanced technology. It was manipulating dimensional space in ways we've only theorized. The readings matched Dr. Joe's work on seventh-dimensional physics." Dr. Wilson nodded enthusiastically. "The quantum signatures were incredible. They're not just bending space-time. They're stepping outside of it entirely. If we could understand this, then we could leapfrog centuries of technological development," Maya finished. She turned to the helm. "Set a course for Earth, maximum speed. And everything that happened here stays on this ship. As far as the world is concerned, we had a polite first contact." As the celestial Voyager turned back toward home, Maya's mind raced with possibilities. The Valesians had unwittingly given humanity a precious gift, a glimpse of technology that could revolutionize their understanding of the universe, and the motivation to prove them wrong. Little did the aliens know that back on Earth, a secret project was already underway, one that would soon force the Valesians to reevaluate their dismissive view of humanity. In the depths of the Mariana Trench, hidden beneath 7 miles of ocean and layers of security that officially didn't exist, Dr. Sophia Zhao stood before a shimmering portal of energy. Around her, a team of Earth's most brilliant scientists worked frantically, monitoring readings and adjusting parameters. "Quantum coherence is holding at 87%, reported Dr. Alejandro Reyes, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. "That's the highest stability we've achieved yet." Sophia nodded, her eyes never leaving the portal. "Increase power to the dimensional harmonic stabilizers. Let's see if we can push it to 90%. Project Quantum Nexus had been her life's work, the culmination of theoretical physics that most of the scientific community had dismissed as impossible. Yet here it was, a gateway to the 7th dimension, shimmering with potential. As alarms suddenly blared signaling fluctuations in the quantum field, Sophia sighed and gave the order to power down. They were close, so tantalizingly close, but stable 7th-dimensional manipulation remained just beyond their grasp. The facility's security chief, Colonel Yinwei, entered the control room. "Dr. Zhao, the Celestial Voyager has returned early from its mission. Captain Rivera is requesting an immediate classified meeting with you and the project leads." Sophia's eyebrows rose in surprise. The Voyager wasn't due back for weeks. "Did they say why?" she asked. Colonel Yin shook her head. "No details, but it's been flagged as ultraviolet priority." Hours later, in a secure conference room deep within the facility, Maya briefed the Quantum Nexus team on their encounter with the Valesians. The room was silent as she played recordings of the aliens' mockery. "They think we're barely evolved apes," Maya concluded, her voice tight with controlled anger. "Primitive beings unworthy of their attention. But thanks to the quick thinking of my crew, we've obtained data that could change everything." Dr. Wilson and Lieutenant Garcia stepped forward, presenting the sensor readings and analysis they'd gathered during the encounter. "Their technology manipulates higher dimensions in ways we've only theorized," Toms explained, displaying complex equations and waveforms. "But the principles align remarkably with Dr. Joe's work." Sophia was studying the data with intense focus, her brilliant mind already making connections. "This is extraordinary," she murmured. "Look at these phase variances. They're using quantum entanglement across dimensional planes to stabilize the rifts." She looked up, excitement building in her voice. "If we apply this to the quantum nexus, we could achieve stable seventh-dimensional travel." Colonel Yin, ever practical, asked the crucial question: "How long until we have a working prototype?" Sophia and her team exchanged glances, rapid mental calculations. "With this new data, and if we push ourselves to the limit, 3 months," Sophia said. "You have 2, came a new voice as UN Secretary-General Oluwaseun Adeyemi entered the room. "The Valesians have graciously invited a human delegation to their nearest outpost in 2 months. We need to show them what humanity is truly capable of." The next 2 months were a blur of feverish activity. The Quantum Nexus facility operated around the clock as scientists and engineers worked relentlessly to integrate the new insights into their design. Sleep became a luxury, with most team members catching naps in shifts to maintain continuous progress. Failures were frequent, and sometimes spectacular. More than once, the ocean above the facility churned with energy as another prototype destabilized. But with each setback came new understanding, new refinements. 47 days into their 2-month deadline, as the facility's artificial day cycle began, Sophia stood once again before the portal chamber. The air hummed with potential energy, the portal's edge shimmering with otherworldly light. "Quantum coherence at 98% and holding," Alejandro reported, tension evident in his voice. "Seventh-dimensional resonance is stable." Sophia took a deep breath. "Initiate final sequence." The hum grew to a crescendo, the portal's center beginning to swirl with colors that had no names in human language. Then, with a sound like reality itself being rewritten, the portal stabilized into a perfect circular gateway. For a moment, no one dared to breathe. Then the probe they had sent through reappeared, laden with data from the other side. "It worked," Sophia whispered, then louder. "It worked." The room erupted in cheers and embraces. Years of theoretical work, months of grueling effort, had finally paid off. Humanity had unlocked the secret of seventh-dimensional travel. As the celebration continued around her, Sophia allowed herself a small smile. Now they would show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. Part 2. The Quantum Nexus. The next few weeks passed in a whirlwind of activity, while the Quantum Nexus team worked to scale up their prototype for a full-sized vessel. A cover story was crafted for the world. To the public, and to the Valesians, it would appear that humanity had made a breakthrough in conventional propulsion technology. Only a select few knew the truth, that beneath the hull of the newly christened QMV Phoenix lay a device that could step through the higher dimensions, allowing the ship to traverse vast distances in the blink of an eye. The Phoenix was a marvel of human engineering, sleek and elegant, but deliberately understated in its external appearance. Inside, however, it contained technology that would have seemed like magic even to most humans. At its heart lay the Quantum Nexus drive, the culmination of Dr. Zhao's revolutionary work in seventh-dimensional physics. As the day of departure approached, the chosen crew underwent intensive training. Captain Maya Rivera, having proven her mettle in first contact, was selected to command the Phoenix on its maiden voyage. Her original bridge crew from the Celestial Voyager joined her, along with Dr. Zhou and a team of specialists in quantum physics. On the eve of their departure, Secretary-General Adeyemi addressed the crew. "You carry with you the hopes and dreams of all humanity," he said, his deep voice resonating through the briefing room. "Show the galaxy that we are not to be underestimated. Show them the true spirit of our species." As dawn broke over the Pacific Ocean on launch day, the Phoenix rose from its hidden underwater base, its sleek form belying the revolutionary technology within. As it ascended through the atmosphere, Maya's voice crackled over a global broadcast. "People of Earth, this is Captain Maya Rivera of the QNV Phoenix. Today we embark on a journey that will change the course of human history, to the stars and beyond. With a flash of light that outshone the sun for a brief moment, the Phoenix vanished, leaving behind a world holding its breath in anticipation. In the depths of space, far beyond the solar system, the Phoenix reappeared. The bridge crew stared in awe at the unfamiliar star patterns surrounding them. Navigation, Maya called out, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Confirm our position. After a moment, Eli responded, wonder filling his voice. Captain, we've traveled over 15 light years in an instant. We've reached the coordinates of the Velesian outpost. A fierce smile spread across Maya's face. Excellent. Let's go introduce ourselves properly, shall we? As the Phoenix approached the massive crystalline structure of the alien station, Maya ordered communications opened. The view screen flickered to life, revealing the surprised face of a Velesian official. The swirling vortices that served as its eyes widened in what could only be shock as it recognized the species addressing it. This is impossible, the alien sputtered. You shouldn't be capable of reaching this outpost for centuries. Maya allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. It seems you may have underestimated us, honored Velesian. We request permission to dock and meet with your leadership. The diplomatic team, led by Dr. Nadia Okafor, disembarked to meet with the station's governor. As they walked through the sprawling corridors of the outpost, they couldn't help but marvel at the advanced technology surrounding them. Yet, they reminded themselves they now carried within their ship the potential to rival even this. The meeting with Governor Zelix was tense, filled with thinly veiled suspicion and disbelief. The Velesian leader struggled to reconcile the primitive humans dismissed mere months ago with the beings who now stood before them, having crossed vast distances of space in the blink of an eye. As the humans explained their breakthrough in propulsion technology, carefully omitting any mention of dimensional manipulation, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Governor Zelix's communication device chimed urgently. What is the meaning of this? The governor demanded, its skin rippling with what appeared to be agitation. A holographic display sprang to life in the center of the room, showing a massive swirling vortex of energy forming at the edge of the star system. By the cosmic harmony, Zelix whispered, its voice filled with dread. It's happening again. Nadia leaned forward, her scientific curiosity piqued. What's happening? What is that phenomenon? The governor turned to the humans, fear evident in its alien features. We call it the Void Maw, a rupture in the fabric of space-time that appears without warning, consuming everything in its path. We've lost entire systems to these events. As if to underscore its words, the hologram showed a small moon being pulled into the vortex, disintegrating as it was torn apart by immense gravitational forces. Can it be stopped? Maya asked, her mind already racing with possibilities. Zelix's skin darkened. We've tried everything. Our most advanced chips, our greatest weapons. Nothing can close the breach once it forms. We can only evacuate and hope it dissipates on its own. The human team exchanged glances. This was far beyond what they had expected to encounter, but it was also an opportunity, a chance to prove humanity's worth on a galactic scale. Governor, Maya said, determination filling her voice, we may be able to help. The next few hours were a flurry of activity as the Velesians coordinated evacuation efforts. Meanwhile, aboard the Phoenix, Dr. Zhu and her team worked feverishly to adapt their seventh-dimensional drive to address this new threat. If we can generate a controlled dimensional rift opposite the Void Maw, Sophia proposed, we might be able to create a counterbalance, forcing it to collapse in on itself. But the energy requirements would be enormous, objected Dr. Reyes. We'd need to channel the output of a star to generate a rift of that magnitude. It was Tom's who provided the key insight. What if we use the Void Maw's own energy against it? If we set up a feedback loop using our dimensional technology, we might be able to turn its power inward. As the scientists and engineers worked to implement this plan, Tensions on the station reached a fever pitch. More alien ships arrived, some to help with evacuations, others to witness what they believed would be the humans' futile attempt to save the system. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of preparations, the Phoenix was ready. As it approached the swirling vortex of the Void Maw, Maya addressed her crew. "I won't lie to you. What we're about to attempt is incredibly dangerous. But the fate of this system, and perhaps our standing in the galaxy, rests on our success. Whatever happens, know that you have made humanity proud." With a final check of systems, the Phoenix activated its modified drive. The ship shuddered as energies beyond human comprehension coursed through its hull. A beam of pure dimensional energy lanced out from the ship, striking the heart of the Void Maw. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly at first but with increasing speed, the vortex began to shrink. The Void Maw's own energy was being turned against it, forced into a feedback loop that was causing it to collapse. On the bridge of the Phoenix, warning klaxons blared as systems overloaded under the strain. "Hull integrity at 64% and falling," reported Eli, his voice tight with tension. "Hold steady," Maya commanded, her knuckles white, as she gripped her chair. "We're almost there." With a final, reality-shaking implosion, the Void Maw collapsed in on itself. A shockwave of energy radiated outward, buffeting the Phoenix and the watching ships. As the dust settled and the sensors cleared, a cheer went up from the bridge crew. Where once there had been a system-destroying vortex, now there was only empty space. The communication channels exploded with chatter as the assembled alien ships tried to make sense of what they had just witnessed. The humans, dismissed as primitive just months ago, had accomplished what the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy had failed to do. As the Phoenix limped back to the Velesian station for repairs, Maya allowed herself a moment of quiet pride. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. In the days following what became known as the Void Maw incident, the Velesian outpost buzzed with activity. News of the humans' feat spread rapidly across the galaxy, transforming Earth from an insignificant backwater into the focus of intense interstellar attention. Maya and her crew found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of diplomatic meetings and scientific conferences. Through it all, they maintained a delicate balance, sharing enough to establish goodwill while safeguarding the true nature of their seventh-dimensional drive. A week after the incident, Governor Zelix requested a private meeting with Maya and Dr. Zhao. The Velesian's demeanor had changed dramatically. Gone was the condescension, replaced by something approaching respect. "Captain Rivera, Dr. Zhou," Zelix began, "on behalf of the Velesian Collective, I wish to extend our sincere apologies for our initial assessment of your species." Maya inclined her head slightly, acknowledging the apology without accepting it too readily. "It seems," Zelix continued, "that we have much to learn from each other. Your approach to dimensional physics is unconventional, but clearly effective. We would like to propose a formal alliance between our peoples, an exchange of knowledge and technology that would benefit us both." Maya smiled. "We would be honored to form such an alliance, Governor. After all, every civilization has unique perspectives to offer, even young ones like ours." As they departed the station weeks later, the Phoenix carried with it not only valuable technological information, but also diplomatic agreements with a dozen alien species. Earth, once dismissed as irrelevant, was now recognized as a rising power in the galactic community. Standing on the bridge as the Phoenix prepared to return home, Maya looked at her crew, humans who had proven themselves against impossible odds, and felt a surge of pride. "Set a course for Earth," she ordered. "It's time to tell the world what we've accomplished." As the Phoenix engaged its quantum nexus drive, disappearing in a flash of dimensional energy, Maya knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The stars, once impossibly distant, were now within reach, and the species that had once been mocked as primitive had earned its place among them. The laughter had stopped. Respect had begun.